In a story that was really driven around Kara Winger's attempt to make her 5th Olympic Games, she comes through and breaks her own trials record.
Such a quick hit at the front of the runway right there. She surprised herself with how far that last one went. But 64.58, really quick right to left and a great arm. And she will be heading to Paris.
Okay, this is the Gift of Gabs podcast, and have a really special guest today. This is episode 10. Maggie Malone-Hardin is with us, a 3-time Olympian. So welcome, Maggie.
Yeah, thank you.
When I watched that video clip the first time, and this isn't on my list, but it came to mind. I watched Kara Winger. Is that her name?
Yep.
She threw right before you, and her launch angle seemed different.
Yeah, hers is a lot lower. Yeah, she's basically 6 foot with her boots on and everything. So we just have a little bit different of how we come into the throw and how we attack the throw. I'd actually like to bring my angle a little bit lower just for, I think, maximum distance. But yeah, we just have a little bit different of a strike.
Okay. The reason I was asking is I'm a golfer, and launch angle makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Golf shots. And
Yeah.
so I assumed it was the same way, but that was one of my other questions. Is you're 5'7", right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so are you small for a javelin thrower?
I would say I would love to be taller. Height definitely helps with javelin. So I'm not small, but I'm not in the tall range either, especially when it comes to like athletes competing that are European. They're a lot taller, a lot bigger than I am. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I was a tennis player in college, and I'm only 5'7",
Yep.
too. So, which then wasn't so bad. I think the average was about 5'10". Then
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
you see, and their average is about 6'1" or 6'2". So I'd be really small.
Yeah.
compared to them. So let me get to the question so I don't keep you too long. I
Yeah.
know your mom was an Olympian also, correct?
Nope. She was an athlete for the University of Nebraska, and she did like junior Olympic stuff internationally, but she was going to likely make the Olympic team in 1980, the year that we boycotted. So she actually never got to compete.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I got some bad information on Google then, but it said she was a heptathlete.
She was a heptathlete. Yep.
And that's how you started, right?
Yep. Yep. I started, I was, I'm from Geneva, Nebraska, did all the sports growing up, and then was recruited to the University of Nebraska to be a heptathlete, and then learned javelin as part of that process.
Okay. So I also got, when I looked you up online, it said in high school you were long jump, triple jump, 200 meters.
Yep.
So then it makes a little more sense that you went to being in the heptathlon.
Yeah.
So how soon in college did you decide to switch to just
I didn't actually get to decide. So my coaches, so my freshman year I was being redshirted, and then my coach said, hey, you're picking up javelin pretty quickly. If you throw past this cone, we will pull your red shirt for this spring season, and you can compete at Big Ten championships. And so then I threw that, whatever the cone was, went to Big Tens, got 3rd at Big Tens, went to regionals, and then ended up getting 10th at nationals that season. And then when I came back for that next competition season, they were like, let's just focus on javelin. But I was still being trained as a heptathlete.
So what place do you have to finish to be All-American?
You need to be, I want to say 8th and above, you'll be a first team All-American. And if you're 9th and lower, you're second team.
Okay. Did you like the javelin better than the heptathlon?
Oh yeah, I didn't have to run the 800, so that was a big piece of it.
So what does it do to your body other than your shoulder? I mean,
oh gosh, there's so many injuries that come with javelin. A lot of our training is just like rehabilitation at this point, but yeah, anything from torn labrums to rotator cuffs to elbows to backs to foot injuries, Achilles, literally anything in between. You name it, and Javelin probably has had it. ACLs, all that.
So did having a mom who was an athlete put pressure on you, or did it just make you want to be an athlete, or?
I think it just made me want to be a great athlete. My dad was also a really great athlete. He played football at Nebraska, and was on the first national championship team. And he's a football coach. And I think just being around it, I just loved athletics
Yeah.
and loved to move, loved to play. And I think that was just a part of me wanting to get the best out of myself in whatever I was doing.
Yeah, genetics doesn't hurt.
That's true.
Neither of my parents were athletes. I just grew up with a lot of kids that played
Yeah.
baseball, basketball,
Yeah.
football, and stuff like that. So, so then when you came in third in the Big Ten and 10th in the NCAA, was being in the Olympics even a thought?
No, literally being in the Olympics wasn't even a thought until I won the Olympic trials in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I was
And that
not
was
even thinking about, because I was ready to be done after college. I had my thought I was going to get my master's, I was going to enter the business world, and I was very much ready to close my collegiate career and be happy with how it ended.
Yeah, and you won the NCAAs the same year?
Yep, in 2016. Yep.
Okay, so has because now you're 8 years in, I mean, from your first Olympic team,
Yeah.
has the training changed
Oh yeah.
over time?
Training's definitely changed. My body has changed. So a lot of that is, I mean, I have a torn labrum that I am always dealing with. I'm actually getting some stem cells here in the next couple weeks. So yeah, it's really great. It's like to learn more about my body and what works for my body and technique and all that. So very much different than when I was 22 years old.
Yeah, and you started your collegiate career at Nebraska,
Yes. Yep.
but you didn't finish there. What?
Nope, I finished at Texas A&M. So yeah, my coach actually that was recruited me to Nebraska. He went to A&M, and then my family
Oh,
moved to College Station, Texas, the same week. And so then I ended up transferring there, and got to be on the team with my sister then at A&M.
oh, okay, okay. I wondered about that because you were pre-transfer portal, so
Oh yeah.
when I was in college, if you wanted to transfer, you had to
Oops.
sit out a year
Yeah.
unless you had permission from the
Yep,
athletic.
exactly. So I had to go to Coach Pepin at the time and say, "Hey, this is what I want to do. I want to transfer." And I actually did do that after my freshman year. I tried to leave after my freshman year, but at that time, coaches had more of the power to say yes or no. And
Yeah.
so he said no. He said, "If you stay one more year, though, I'll give you a transfer, no questions asked." And so I stayed my sophomore year, and then he gave me the transfer for my junior and senior year.
Okay, so if he says no, then you really don't
I could
have.
have still gone, but I would have had to sit out a year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yep.
You just lose a year.
Yep. So,
So
and I
it's
didn't want to lose
better.
a year.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's better to do it the way you did it than
Yep.
given the
Hmm.
circumstances. I guess I'd never, maybe I was not at your level, so maybe they weren't as hesitant to say go ahead and leave.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, the coach moving there makes a lot more sense. I wasn't sure what the reason was behind it. And
Yeah.
your sister is older?
She's younger. So
Younger.
she
Okay.
finished her high school. She graduated from Bryan High, which is essentially connected to College Station, Texas. And my parents were coaching there. And so then the coach that recruited me at Nebraska, he recruited her to Texas A&M. And then when I transferred, she was coming in as a freshman and I was coming in as a junior.
Is she also a track athlete?
Yeah, she threw the javelin also. She was third in the nation and is like top three on our Texas A&M school record book or
Oh,
like
wow.
grouping. So yeah, she was really good too.
Yeah. So did she take it up because of you, or did you?
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. And it
Yeah.
gave scholarship for school, so that helped.
Because I know, like, well, the one that comes to mind is Harper Murray. Her sister is a volleyball
Yep.
player, and she said that was one of the reasons that
Yeah.
she started playing.
Yeah.
And So that makes sense. You in 16, the games were in Brazil, right?
Yes. Yep. In Rio. Yep.
And that was also during what was there was something that people were worried about catching.
Zika.
Zika, yeah. So
Yep.
did that play into your decision at all? Did it
No, not at all. No.
because I know I think that was the first year that golfers were playing in the Olympics, and some of them didn't go because of
Yeah. Yeah.
or at
Probably.
least
Yeah.
that's the excuse they gave, that they didn't,
Yeah. It's probably
they
more of
didn't
an
go.
excuse because it really wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
I just don't, I don't think that's something I would pass up, because of
Yeah.
that, especially knowing that it might be your only time.
Totally.
So how many in the picture, in the video, we showed you with two other women that were going to Paris. Do they always take three?
Nope. So they actually didn't go to Paris. I was the only woman that went. So we only
Oh,
sent one male and one female, because there is a qualification system that you have to go through. And Kara had only thrown 2 or 3 competitions. So she didn't have what she needed to go. And the other girl didn't throw the Olympic standard. So we only sent one male and one female.
So were the other two games that you competed in, were you the only one?
Nope. We had 3 on those. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm surprised that there would only be one.
Yeah.
I I don't know if you can answer this or not. I heard somewhere that the athletes paid their own way to go. Is that true?
Some athletes do, yeah. So there definitely is some cost. Thankfully, there's not a ton of burden on the athlete. And thankfully for me, I had a lot of people support me and send money that helps me, not just at the Olympics, but with the rest of my season and my career, because I don't just compete one time at the Olympics. I competed internationally all season. I started in China and I ended in Belgium. So all of that support really, really helps us to continue to do this sport.
Right. And so the Olympics being only every 4 years, what are you doing the other 3?
So there's world championships every other year. So next year we'll be in Japan, and the world championships are essentially like the Olympics, but it's just track and field. So it's the whole world coming together just for track and field. And then there's a league called the Diamond League, and that is an international competition where you might have like 4 different competitions internationally to compete against those same athletes. And there's a championship at the end of that also.
Okay. Because that would, I would assume that the pressure of going to the world championships is similar to the
Oh, very similar. It's
Olympics,
the same people, it's the same,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
It's just not as massive as the Olympics because the Olympics has however many sports it carries,
right.
so it just doesn't have
Right.
that same magnitude.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always been a fan of I always watch the Olympics, and in the summer I watched track and I watched gymnastics and I watched the volleyball and basketball and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't watch everything, but it is fun to watch because you end up watching some things that you never would have thought of.
Yeah.
I was a little confused about the breakdancing thing this
Yeah,
year.
it really didn't. So and when you're at the Olympics, like we don't really I'm not aware of everything that's going on, especially because I tried to stay off social media and all sorts of stuff. So I didn't even know some of the events, yeah, that they included in the Olympics.
Yeah. So has social media changed anything for you? I know, sorry, I'm coming back to Harper again. She got a lot of negative feedback because she had a bad
Yeah.
match in the finals.
Hmm.
Do you get any of that? I mean, do you?
No, not that I'm aware of. I'm sure I have people out there that don't like me, because that's just the nature of life. But I really have felt very blessed, to have people support me and send me really encouraging, kind messages. And I just try to put out God's message. And for me, the only reason I'm doing Javelin is to, you know, make people hear about Jesus and to steward the gift that he gave me. So for me, I feel really blessed to have a community that supports me.
Yeah, I don't understand why people waste time sending someone they don't even know
Yeah.
like a hate mail thing.
There's a lot of just, there's a lot of people that are, I think, unhappy with their life, and it's really
Mhm.
easy to send a message behind a screen and make somebody a punching
Yeah,
bag for the unhappiness that's in your life, unfortunately.
and that to me is what it is. It's easy to do that anonymously, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yep.
it's
So I have a lot
this
of
stuff
compassion
would,
for Harper in that, because to put myself in that position and be 19, 20 years old, and to
yeah,
have people send messages like that, I think that I would have very much been, that would have affected me.
yeah.
And so yeah, I just have a lot of compassion for her.
Really hoping to get her to come on. I'm
Yeah,
not exactly sure how to get her yet. Allie Batenhorst is gonna come on with her sisters.
that's great.
So Allie, I think, can help me get some of the
Yeah.
other the girls. Um, and I grew up a half hour from where Harper grew up, so that's another reason I like that.
Yeah.
I did meet her and Lainey once in at Texas Roadhouse, but
Oh,
I'm sure they don't remember. But going forward, I mean, you've been doing this a long time now, basically,
yeah.
12
10
years.
years ish. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to try for another Olympic team or?
Yeah, I mean, right now I have the itch for it. But my husband and I also want to start our family. So it really just is, to me, I'm like, okay, God, if you desire this for me, then I'm going to walk in that faithfully. But like, if you don't, then I'm happy to close that up too. So it's just really 1 year at a time. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll just take it year by
So
year.
is it something like, and I'm I'm not giving you advice here, but is it something like if you had a baby, say next year,
Hmm.
would you have enough time to come back and train
I
or?
don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. I
I
think
know
that's yeah.
I know there are tennis players and golfers that have
Hmm.
had children and then
Totally.
back out,
Yeah.
but it seems like to me golf would be a little easier to come back to than
Yeah,
tennis.
yeah. And tennis, you generally have the finances to support yourself. So
Yeah,
I think that's a
yeah.
part of it. I have a full-time job. My husband has to work too. So yeah, there just will have to be a lot of pieces in place for that to happen, I think.
I saw you on the Nebraska website as a volunteer coach
Yep.
last
So
year.
I volunteer for the track team, but then I work at the Arbor Day Foundation.
Oh, okay, okay. So are you volunteering still for the
Yep,
track
still
team?
volunteer coach. I help wherever Justin St. Clair needs me, and just have so much respect and admiration for him. I think he's just one of the best coaches that I've been blessed to be around, and what he's done to the programs, men and women here at Nebraska. Like he's taken them into a national powerhouse, and I just know that he's gonna do such great things here. So feel really blessed to be around him.
Didn't we have a shot put person go too?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had Axelina Johansson for shot put, uh, and Monet from South Africa. She did shot put also. We had Peyton Otterdahl, who's his from North Dakota. He trains here at Nebraska with us also. He's a shot putter. And then Rima Otabor, she's a javelin thrower. So he had
Mhm.
a lot of athletes go.
So what is it? I'm assuming when you go back and work with the college team, they have to look up to you, I would assume, for your
I don't know.
experience.
I don't know if they do or not. I mean, yeah, I really just give them advice if they ask for it or need it. Those
Mhm.
guys are just like heads and shoulders above where I was when I was their
Yeah,
age, and I learn a lot from them too. Like I love watching
yeah.
them and understanding what they're thinking about the javelin or how they're thinking about javelin, and they're just really good kids and they work hard, and there's I know they're going to have a ton of success in their future.
I was a college professor for 40 years,
Oh
and
wow.
and and I don't know that. I mean, this is just anecdotal, but it seemed like to me that the athletes on average were better students than the non-athletes on average.
Interesting. Yeah,
And
that's really interesting.
I always thought it was because you had to be more organized in,
Yeah, I think that could definitely be a part of it. I think another piece is that I think athletes in themselves are internally motivated. And so I think that because of that motivation factor, they're going to, whatever they do, try to be the best that they can be at it.
Mhm.
So I think that's a strong strong side to that too.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it, you said that they're ahead of where you were.
Yeah.
Training methods and nutrition and everything is
Oh,
continuing
just the
to get so
access that
much
they have.
better.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and I told people, when I was an athlete in college, we were told not to lift weights.
Oh, interesting. Where
Because
were you an
I
athlete
went
at?
to Central Michigan, but we were told it would make us less flexible and bulky. And and the football team and the wrestlers were the only ones lifting, basically.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
and now I'm 69 years old and I'm lifting and doing stretches and bands and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff just to
Yeah.
kind of maintain. But the nutrition to me almost seems like it's a bigger part of it.
It's a huge
now.
piece, especially as I get older and I want my body to have less inflammation and be less of risk of injury. My nutrition has changed completely. So when
Yeah.
I am in season and like right now I'm in off season, so I get to relax on it a little bit more. But we avoid sugar for a lot of the times. I generally am grain free, dairy free. So it's really just like high protein and high fats. And yeah, just I live, most of my life eating a lot of steak, a lot of fish and chicken and yeah,
That's a
just a
big
part of
stuff.
the lifestyle.
So are different, maybe you can't answer this, but within the track team, there's so many events.
Hmm.
Are different track athletes on different nutritional?
I would guess so. I think every person, if you want to even break it down that way, is maybe on a different nutritional kind of path for them because everybody has different needs. And you could even look at, like you said, genetics or just like, maybe one person is more apt to like put on fat versus muscle or too much muscle. And so I think every person is probably on their own dietary kind of path.
Yeah, that's probably true. I know there's a place in Omaha that will do some testing for you and tell you what's the best for you and
Oh, that's
what might
interesting.
work for you. And I want to try that. One of my
Yeah.
friends tried it and she said it's really helped her.
Yeah.
So,
I work with an organization. I have two, but one is I have a nutritionist named Cynthia Monteleone, and she's in Hawaii, and I've worked with her since 2019. But then there's an organization called Ways to Well that I think is phenomenal, and they do all blood paneling and supplement advice and just lifestyle advice, and I think they're great. They're out of Austin.
so when you're not actually on the track, what's your training regimen like when
When I'm
outside
not
running?
so like right now while I'm in off season, I've just been doing things that I want to do. So I go on walks and been doing like Pilates and cycle classes and just like having fun. And so that's really what the off season looks like for me, is just to do things to move my body and have fun. And that's really the goal over all of it, is just to heal the body up.
Yeah, so um your husband was also a track athlete?
Yep. So he did javelin with me at Texas A&M, and then he coaches me also.
Okay, okay. So he was with you in Paris.
Yes, he was with
Yeah.
me in Paris. Yep.
Was that your first time in Paris?
Nope, that was my second time in Paris, but it was the first time to actually kind of see the city more, so that was pretty special.
So when you're there, it's 2 weeks long, right? So
Yes, it felt like we were there forever.
how much of that is your portion? How many days are you actually competing?
Um, I mean, the preparation and everything, I mean, I guess we only compete 2 days, but you would prepare at least probably like a week to be there.
Okay, so it would seem like if I was in that position, I'd want to go meet a bunch of the other athletes.
Mm.
Is that something you did or
No,
have
not
time
really.
for?
I did that in 2016. And then in 2021, I got to be around them just because of the circumstances of, um, not having
Oh
family and
yeah.
friends there. But this year, not so much. Like I have my people and my family came, and I spent a lot of time with them.
How was the 21 games different? Because that was right after
Yeah,
the
it was honestly, I thought they did a fantastic job, and I am excited to go back to Japan. But Yeah, it was just different. No fans, no family or anything like that. But I thankfully had a lot of friends who made the team. So it was easy to find time to like spend with
Mhm.
them. And that was really great.
So how did it change the feel when you're out there on the track and there's no fans?
Some people like feed off of that energy. For me, I can throw in either. So I didn't really, the pressure is going to be there regardless if you have
Yeah,
fans or not.
yeah.
So it didn't really feel that different to me.
Yeah, it feels like the pressure is more internal,
Yeah,
and
100%.
they, it'd be hard to
Yeah.
avoid that. Do you think that's the thing, the competitiveness is what you miss the most when you do decide to stop, or?
I don't know. I think that's going to be really interesting to find out is like what I don't know. I don't know what I'll miss the most. It could be the travel and the connection with the girls across the world. Like that's what I love. That's the best part of this sport is to get it to do with people that I really genuinely love and love to compete against. Um and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it will feel like when it's done.
For me, I remember when I was in college telling my girlfriend at the time that once I couldn't compete, I would quit playing tennis because
Oh,
a lot of people keep playing, and she said, "No, you're not." But when I turned 35, I was in Western Nebraska, and I wanted to play the state 35 and over
oh,
tournament.
nice. Yeah.
And at the time, I knew a kid who was playing for the university, and he was a sophomore at the university, and he practiced with me over Christmas break because the tournament
Okay.
was in January. And
Yeah.
when I was 35, I could beat him. But when I was 36, we were pretty even. And when
Yeah.
I was 37, he was beating the hell out of me. So maybe it's time to go play golf. So
Oh,
I
that's
took up golf and
funny.
played more.
Yeah.
And I don't miss it. I
Yeah.
don't, and
Yeah.
I'm not as good a golfer, I don't think, but it replaced it,
Yeah.
um, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It'll
I
be
might feel
interesting. And
different if,
and I was gonna say, and also like when we have our family, like it's gonna be different. Obviously, my mind is gonna be totally different. My life will never be the
yeah,
same again. So who knows? I don't know what we'll feel.
yeah, I think having kids will definitely
It changes
take
everything.
the place of
Yep.
of
Yep.
that. You won't miss it as much, but
Yep.
it's you've had a lot of really cool experiences. So do you do you think you'll want to ever coach, or
No.
no?
I don't really have any desire to coach, mainly because, my parents are both coaches, and my brother's a coach. My whole family has been coaches. And if you would have asked me when I was 5 years old if I wanted to coach, I would have said no, also. And I think because I've just seen that lifestyle, and
Yeah.
my husband and we do personal coaching, but he mainly runs it. He does personal programming and coaching, and I can help, but I don't have that
Yeah.
desire. Nope.
It takes up a lot of time.
Takes up a lot of time, and a lot of people are not, in my opinion, grateful or thankful for coaches, or respectful.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like that's where I want to spend my time.
Yeah, I coached the women's golf team at Chadron State
Mm,
for 6 years, and the thing that surprised me the most was that I had parents trying to call and tell you
yeah.
that their daughter should be playing,
Yep.
and
Yep. I
and
just don't want to spend my time that way. So
yeah,
I'm
it, it
too.
it was not, that part of it wasn't fun, and it
Yeah.
did take a lot of time for away from other things. So
Yeah.
um, well, I don't want to keep you too long. I had those little questions at the end, but I think unless you want to go through them,
Yeah. We could do a couple of them real quick.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one was if you could spend a day with anyone living or dead, who would you pick and why?
I would probably pick Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of them. I feel like he has such a cool mindset around athletics, and great basketball player, obviously, and his faith. And I just think that having a conversation with him and spending a day with him would be really, really interesting.
So I'm not familiar with him. Is he, how old
Play
is
for
he?
the Bucks. Mhm.
Oh, okay, okay. He could be any animal. What would you pick?
I'd be a lion.
Lion. I've had a lot of variations. I've had a couple people say horse, and
Yeah.
one said a gorilla.
Oh,
But
okay.
that was her initial
Yeah.
area of interest in college. So,
Yeah.
um, if you could eat one food, or if you had to eat one food every day, what would it be?
Pizza. Love it. Can't
Yeah.
get enough of it.
I feel like that's the best answer. You're only the second one, but because you can
There's
change
so
it
many
up.
varieties.
Yeah, you can
Like
change it up all the
yeah.
time, so it wouldn't necessarily be the same.
Yep.
Next one is if you could witness a historical event.
Ooh, it's a hard one. A historical event would probably be, yeah, my husband said that. He said the resurrection. That is what I
Yeah.
want to, the resurrection. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Last one, and then I'll let you go. What's the most interesting place you've ever visited or want to? Because you've been a lot of places.
Been a lot of places. The most interesting place we've ever been, probably, honestly, China was very interesting. I don't need to go back, but it was a very interesting place to visit, and the culture is just like very different. And yeah, the one place that was interesting that I loved and do want to go back to is Japan, and I'm super
Yeah.
excited for that. Hmm.
I have two friends that spent some time there because their dad was military,
Okay.
and they have good things to say about it too.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
been there. I have been to Paris.
Yeah.
I used to take students to London, so I've been to England.
Oh, love London. London's one of my favorite cities.
Yeah, I like London too. I
Mhm.
think I could live in London. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
great.
easy to get around and easy to
Yeah.
talk to. So, well, I really appreciate this.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very much for
you.
coming on. It was
For
fun.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I'll let you go, and I might bug you though, or see if I can get a few track athletes in to come on.
Yeah, I could try. Yeah, it's right now I'm kind of in a busy season right now, even though it's off season, but yeah, we could definitely connect.
Yeah, I've been trying to contact people that, especially Nebraska athletes, just because I was
Yeah,
in Lincoln, so
for
it'd be
sure.
easy, and
Yeah.
that,
Awesome.
that would be nice. So thank
All
you, and
righty. Have a
I'll
great
tell
rest of your
Jessica
day.
that I saw you.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.